Garbage man's here. Taking the garbage. Taking the garbage. I need to remind everybody to please subscribe or resubscribe. Noise out there. A lot of noise. Some fools driving behind the garbage truck. Go around. Go around the block, you moron. People. What is this? Get some people on. Exactly, Mr. Frank. Exactly. People are just rude. Bet you that angelfish is just like second nature. Well, you weren't on. Nobody was on. And I was like, I'm on Twitch and you're texting me. You should be on here. I also did it hoping Tom would jump on. How do you even know I'm on Twitch, though? You know what I'm saying? You say that, but... 44 degrees here in sunny Jacksonville, Florida. There's maybe 20 leaves left on the tree. Maybe 20. I hope they all fall off and go away. There's Sean Call. Got one of those little notification things. That's cool. I'd never get those notifications anymore for literally anybody coming on. I got to figure out what I did to not get. I mean, maybe not going on people's Twitch pages. I could have done it. He was bust calling the herd. I only said because there's no way he's already heard that 6 billion times. Maybe just calling the herd? What are you writing on today? I'm writing on this page. What the hell? Brand new short story. So I wrote a short story yesterday, 1,431 words, while I was on Twitch. And it really, after doing the rewrite on it yesterday afternoon, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if it actually fits with the theme of this anthology. I mean, it started out, it should have, but the main thing that they're looking for doesn't happen until like the last, 5 lines of it. And I'm like, no, I'm going to write something else. And it also was a crime thriller that I wrote. And I'm like, I think they're looking for horror more. So now I'm writing a horror story. I'm going to rewrite it because the other thing, I got a couple of other places, crime thriller places that I can send that one to. So no writing is wasted. Oh, you're a horror writer? You must own a sword. I didn't say anything yesterday. I didn't say anything. I just showed my wife that picture we are talking about. And she said, she stared at it and then she said, what the fuck is wrong with him? And I said, hey, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Just some people just are out of touch. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm in touch. But I think I'm a little more in touch than some people who are my age or older. You can help to understand how a great mind like that works. No. You're absolutely right. So I'm getting like two shorts a day on YouTube now. Usually one is a coffee one. Usually one is something else. So I think that's going to be the goal for a while. But we'll see. Ms. Frank says, back in the day when I went to Disney, there was a sword shop inside the castle. I wanted one in the worst way. Then as I got older and became a teenager, I was all like, I'm glad I never wasted money on that crap. What the fuck would I do with a dumb sword? And then you were shown this week what you could do with a dumb sword. On our first date, not you and me, Frank, me and my wife, on our first date, we went to St. Augustine and met, because it was in the middle of where she lived and I lived. And there was a store there for a long time, and they sold swords. And when we were wandering around after dinner, she's like, "Are you gonna buy me a sword?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want a sword." And she's like, "Maybe on like our second or third date." It was kind of like the joke. Then every time we went to St. Augustine after that, in the intervening years, she would always say, "You know, you never bought me that sword." And, you know, she didn't want a sword, and I had no intention of buying a sword. And then that place closed. So I don't even know where you can even buy a sword anymore. I guess on Amazon, right? I'm sure the person with the sword will tell you some fantastic story of how some lead from Lord of the Rings or something bought him that sword. I guarantee you that will be the story. It's not just, hey, I went and spent too much money on a sword. It was oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger gave me this sword because we were going to write a book together. This is his from Conan. Something like that. Sean says, when I was 10 or 11, I wanted a katana and wakizashi. I'm almost 48. Which means at this age, you should say I'm 48. Not I'm almost 49. I still want a katana and wakizashi. Not looking to murder anyone ninja style, but they would look sweet in my office. Okay. And then Tom was all like, F your sword, it's 7 billion degrees. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be interesting to see if Tom gives up eating chocolate. If Tom ever goes to St. Augustine once he moves down here. Because he did not have a good experience. Who the hell is typing on my texting? My texting machine. We just started this, and I'm already 450 words into it. I think I can get a katana and some nunchucks at English Town Flea Market. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used to go down there for all my studded belts and studded armbands and all that stuff. And I had a buddy, Kevin Overhauls, because we used to go like maybe twice a month. My family, my parents just loved killing the day, just walking around row by row. And then my dad liked buying, I guess it was chicken on a stick. He called it monkey meat. Maybe it was monkey meat in English Town, who knows. My buddy Kevin gave me money to buy some nunchucks, which I did. I was like 15 maybe. They didn't ask for ID. They don't care. Also, speaking of swords, Christopher Lambert in Highlander. Best sword movie ever. There can only be one. I'm going to put leather and studs on my MacBook to make it look more butch. I like the 27 porn DVDs for $1 guy. Yeah, I was a good guy. Yeah. My dad would go down, and then he would always say to me and my brother, we'd get to the certain building, and he would always say, hey, here's a couple bucks. Go buy yourself something to drink, or go buy yourself a monkey meat, and I'll meet you at this next building. You were never allowed in that building, and that was the building we found out later that he would buy the DVDs, the Swedish erotica. He would buy. He would go in there and buy like the next 2 or 3. And I think my dad ended up having like 200 and something of them in the garage. They were red boxes with Seika and all the big stars from the 70s, 80s in it. And of course, the hubcap guy in the back, that guy was great. Like if I ever wanted a hubcap, which I never did, I never bought a hubcap, that would be the guy I would go to. Good times. Yeah, he went to the guy in the building because it was high class because that guy had the entire line of the Swedish erotica VHS boxes. So my dad would go in and he would buy like the next 2 in 2 or 3 in line, Collinswood Flea Market. We would go there, and I would buy my comic books and my books. My dad would be on the other side buying porn magazines. My dad was out in the field, and those things were half melted. That was like, yeah, DVDs. No, we were still VHS tapes at that point. Yeah, my dad did not want to upgrade. My dad didn't even have a computer or even know what a computer was until he moved down to Florida in 2001. And I don't think he got his first computer till like 10 years later. I was living. There's Amanda Ward. We've been talking about y'all for the last month. Not really. I will see Amanda tomorrow at Chinese food buffet. I got my VHS at Railroad Salvage. Remember that Railroad Salvage? I don't know if I remember Railroad Salvage. If it was up near you, then probably not. We never really ventured that far up as a family. I talked to Win. He will also be coming to lunch with us tomorrow, Amanda, if you're still listening. So it looks like you, me, maybe young Mike, and maybe Black Mike, Tall Mike, whatever we're calling him, and Win. It was like a giant junk store, sort of like a mom and pop odd lots, and in the back there was a porn room. It was right by the flea market on Englishtown Road. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes, we never went in there. We don't. We need to get rid of Mike. We need less Mikes. We need, as a young kid say, we need some Mike drops. Get it? Like get rid of. Forget it. Yeah, you should have a Mike Payne name. Michael Ward. Michael Ward sounds like a running back for in college football. White Mike, Black Mike, Rich Mike, Poor Mike, Mike. Mike and Ike. Oh. It was like you could grab 50 feet of rope, a crescent wrench, a Hulk Hogan plastic cup, and Dirty Debbie Donuts 28 all in one spot. Yeah, I do know exactly what you were talking about. Now we would literally go and park in the lot across the street, walk over, start at the front. We would do all the buildings, and then we would walk all the way down to the end, that main drag, and then start doing all of the rows and 8,000 rows. We would do that. I was a vendor there back in the early 90s as well for a little while, selling boxes of sports cards. And me and Dieter Shapinski would sell our bootleg cassettes as well. And I think one of the trips we did when we did Beers and Fears, I think maybe the first year, the second year, we actually drove down, me and Shelly, and we walked around for a little bit. But it was not nearly as full to capacity as I remembered as a kid. Like there wasn't like 30 miles like you look down. Like there was literally where the, and again, I think we used to do this in September or October as well. So how come you've never named one of your millions Dieter Kapinski? First off, it's Shapinski. And second off, in Nazi Treasure, one of the main people who's kind of a villain is Dieter. Dieter Shapinski was a year younger than me. He went to school with my brother. But we were in junior high together. He was the one who introduced me to Howard Stern. Dieter introduced me to Whitesnake, to a lot of those bands back in the day. A lot of the bands that were huge overseas and had not hit in America yet at that time. You're talking early 80s stuff. And then he started working with Ripping Corpse. Then he started working with Morbid Angel. And then he moved to Tampa and worked at Morrisound Studios. And he worked with a ton of death metal bands over the years. And then I believe at some point he made enough money, and he toured the world a million times with bands. He made enough money. Last I heard, Dieter was in Hawaii. He had retired at like 50 and bought a house in Hawaii and got married, and that's where he's living now, as far as I know. Oh, so what you're saying is, if I actually read your books, I would know that you have already done that. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, that book isn't out yet. But, yeah. So, yeah, something, Dieter Shapinski is, something there. Yeah. Dieter was adopted. His father was Dieter as well. He lived right on Leonardville Road, right near the Bayshore Junior High. Just a quick walk from his 2-block walk, and you're at Slater's. Dieter McEdler. That would be a phenomenal kid. Whenever we hear any kind of weird name, I always say to Shelley. Like say, let's just say some guy on TV, his name is Seamus. And I always say, Seamus Rosamilia, that's got a ring to it. What's going on this weekend? Nothing. Katsume Matura Miguel. Yep, exactly. You think if your last name was Edler, your parents would have named you Ed. Ed Edler, right? Edward Edler. Or Edward Lars, right? Edlar. I plan on freezing my assholes. Why? Where are you going? Stay in the house. It's supposed to be cold here. Sunday, I'm supposed to go to Happy Medium Books at 2 p.m. Amanda, if you're still listening. I think their first open poetry something or other is happening Sunday now. 2 p.m. I think I'm going to go. Get out of the house. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Get down tonight. Going out for hibachi Saturday night. Nice. There are 100 Joes in my family. Any JCs? Any JJs? JJ, get over here. Bring your father a beer. There's a CJ. Well, there you go. Yeah, close enough. Nick Zinn must have found the treasure or whatever he's looking for. Maybe. Because, I'm on another page here already and no Nick. Where the hell's Nick? Here's what I want to know. Where the hell's Tom? Tom is making aging videos on TikTok. Was that his latest video? I saw that he had done one of those a while ago. I think he posted something yesterday, but I didn't look. TikTok, it's so weird. It's like you miss something and then it's just gone. What's up, Chad Lutsky? So last night we watched we binge watched the Kings of Tupelo. He's looking for the next 2 or 3 videos in that Swedish VHS, Swedish erotica, it was called. Red boxes. Maybe it's all, but it showed up on my FFP this morning. Yeah, I don't know. I know he did one a couple 3 months ago. Might have been the same one, or maybe he just did a new one. He got a new thing to do on it. So I watched the Kings of Tupelo, and that was insane. Everybody in there that is insane. And once you get to the next person, I'm like, oh my god! None of these people in Tupelo, Mississippi, are normal. They are all just awful, awful people with awful, awful agendas. There wasn't one good person in that whole thing. But you're wearing lederhosen, yeah, for sure, from Sweden. Yeah. I'm not sure why it was called Swedish erotica. There were a couple of Swedes in it. I'll grant you that. Yes, I did watch them as a teenager, but most of them were not from Sweden. There's a lot of ugly women, super, super hairy. Tupelo was beyond bonkers. After that ended, Shelley literally said, What the fuck did we just watch? I'm like, that was insane. Lederhosen sounds like a guitarist who played for Whitesnake at some point. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Jimmy Lederhosen. Jimmy Lederhosen and Reb Beach. They're two guitar players. Yeah, so that's, if you have not watched Kings of Tupelo, watch it, but just get ready to be thoroughly confused because you don't know you don't know what's coming next. I'll tell you what though, his wife was a super big whore that did not age well at all. At all. I just thought, I was like, oh, these are just weird dudes. Um, Elvis impersonators, and they're gonna be like I don't know, the Elvis impersonators are gonna fight or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. Miss Frank says, when I think Sweden, I think Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places. When I think about Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places, I think about Jamie Lee Curtis's underappreciated boobs in Trading Places. She did have a nice set of boobs. She really did. She really did, and that's a good movie. Not only just because, as a growing male, I saw her boobs, but just in general. One of my favorite scenes, bringing up scenes like that, is the hell's her name now? Totally sent me. The chick that was in My Cousin Vinny. Oh, Marissa Tomei. I don't know why I couldn't think of Marissa Tomei. Her in The Wrestler as the stripper. Her ass is just unbelievable. Anyone here ever read William Goldman? I've read a few of his books, Temple of Gold and Magic, and was going to start his book Heat today. I don't think I have, Chad. They sit up nice and firm like farm fresh egg. Exactly. I mean, they're probably not like they're that anymore, but still. Excuse me. The Wrestler was a great movie, a real tearjerker. It's funny because I watched a documentary, I can't remember which one, not too long ago, and Mickey Rourke was in it. And my God, he looks like a space alien. He looks like a female space alien now. It's just fucking weird looking. He's just, you can't even make eye contact. It's really odd. I perked something after one. Yeah. Good times. He is weird looking, but seems like a great dude. Do you think he's a great dude? I don't know. There's something about him that he seems like he's still living in his past. Like he still thinks he's fucking Mickey Rourke from like the 80s. He has dogs. I mean, there you go. That's something. I don't know. He just seems really odd. He might be a great guy. It might be a lot of fun. Who can say at this point? Maybe only Chad Lutsky can say. I wonder if he ever stands out on his snowy driveway with a sword, though. Would he do that? My expectations are low. There could be a serial killer living in my building, but if I found out he had dogs, I'd be like, well, he can't be all bad, right? I mean, as long as they don't kill you, that's their personal choice. If Chad stood out in the snow half naked, wielding a sword, I think I'd mistake him for a member of Manowar. That is a compliment. Trust me. Compliment. Half naked, but the other half that's not naked is in a loincloth, hopefully. It's amazing those guys, the crowds they get in the UK, still to this day. I like Manowar. I'm a fan. I saw them at Club Benet. Club Benet and Joey DeMeo was like, yeah, we get you to tell all of our brothers and sisters of metal so we can sell out Madison Square Garden. It's like 1992, dude. You ain't selling out Madison Square Garden. Maybe this afternoon while I'm writing, I'll listen to some Manowar. Born to Live Forevermore. The right to conquer every shore. Check out Rourke's acceptance speech at the Spirit Awards for the wrestler. Hilarious. The best ever. Need to remind everybody to resubscribe and subscribe, and also to follow me on YouTube. I'm slowly building it up over there. A couple of shorts every day, maybe a video here and there. All of these Twitch videos go over there, so I'm building it up. Several hundred things to watch now. Yeah, the GOAT. Chad Hoey, the GOAT. Yeah, so look exactly like a guy from Manowar. Very tan, very ripped. I mean, if you take off the glasses, you look like the third guitar player from the band. You look like one of the guys from the brass section. I look like Mano Lederhosen. I love that band. Those guys were great. Good times. Alright, I'm done writing for right now. My back is hurting again. It's weird. In the middle of the night, like, I'll go to bed. I'll spend, like, all of yesterday, probably from about 5 o'clock, I'm not on my computer anymore. I go sit on the couch. I got a heating pad. I turn it up to 6. It's the highest it can go. I lay on put the heating pad on my back until I'm just sweating my ass off. Then I turn it back down to 3. It's the lowest it can go. And the cats take turns fighting over it to lay on it. Then I put an ice pack on my back. Then I spray it with Icy Hot. Then every 6 hours I take 3 Motrin. Maybe you need Howard Stern back here. I don't know what that is. I'm afraid to ask. Is it naked women walking on my back? And then I just rotate that all day, all night. We're watching Kings of Tupelo, and I'm chasing the cats off with the heating pad because I got to sit on the thing. The doctor told him it was all in his head, and he accepted that, and the pain went away. There you go. It's definitely, I have a therapist, and basically one of the things we always talk about is things like that, like my back pain, and it's stress. It's definitely A lot of it is definitely stress related because it hurts more on days when bullshit happens with life stuff, we'll say. I won't mention my wife's sister or my brother. So I think that's what it definitely has to do with some of that. But I do all that back and forth, back and forth. I spray, ice pack, heating pad, Motrin, on and on and on. And then last night, 11 something, I go to bed and I'm fine. I sleep on my good side. I tuck a pillow on the bad side so I don't roll over and lie flat on my back and hurt myself. And then at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, I get up because I got to pee. And my back's on fire and I can barely move. I'm all hunched over. I'm like Igor from Young Frankenstein. And so I go to the bathroom and it hurts. Not going to the bathroom part, just hurt going physically walking back and forth from the bathroom. Then I lay down and then like 6 o'clock I got to go to again because I'm old. And I drink a lot of water. And then it's fine. I get it's a little uncomfortable, but I'm walking upright and I'm fine. I go to the bathroom, no problem, go back to bed. And then I get up at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and it's a crapshoot. This morning, my back was fine. I woke up, I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling all right. Now it's hurting a little bit just because I've been sitting for a couple hours. And I need to stop doing that. I need to do like a half an hour, like set a timer or something. Half an hour of work and then go sit down and read or do something else. Sean says, that sounds terrible. Sorry, man. Hope it gets better for you soon. I'm hoping by the end of this month, her sister will be back in Dallas. Tom and Jess will be down here living. And a lot of the stress that we go through will be over. That's the goal. I used to have awful sciatic pain when I worked at a more physically demanding job. It would get so bad at times I would use a cane. Did you have like a cool cane or just like a piece of wood? Because I think if I needed a cane, I would like to have like something with like a satanic goat's head on it, you know, something like that. Like a good nice piece of black wood, you know, with like pentagrams and chickens carved in it. Yeah, so my back hurts after sitting for so long. So I'm pretty much going to wrap this up in a minute or so, and then go sit on the couch and read the third and last book of the Danny Ryan crime thriller, the Don Winslow trilogy, which is phenomenal. Maybe 50 pages to the end. No idea how this thing's gonna end. A sword cane to whip out and stab people with irritate. That would be That would be good. I'm gonna try to get it through an airport. I just won't go to an airport. Sorry, honey, we can't fly anywhere because of my sword cane. And the goat's head has a laser beam on it. I mean, all these things is things that I need. So not as many words as I wrote yesterday. Yesterday I wrote 1,431 during Twitch. Today I'm at 675. So a little less than half. But still a good opening volley for the day. I also need to go take a super hot shower and let the heat hit my back as well. Tomorrow would definitely not be on, as I'm going to lunch, the Chinese buffet lunch, and then I have therapy at 3, and I will be done for the day. But I will be back on Friday. Positive, I'll be back on Friday. Ooh. Last time my wife made us some subs, which were delicious. We have a ciabatta bread, ciabatta, whatever, ciabatta bread. Couple of loaves of that in the oven, 25 minutes. Then you gotta let them cool for 20 minutes. Cut them open, eat all the inside, the malik out, and then for me, mine was Swiss cheese, turkey, ham, salami, and then a generous amount of lettuce and cut up a tomato. Then Italian dressing on the bread. That's the key, to put it on the bread so it soaks into the bread, gets a little mushy, because that ciabatta bread gets a little freaking hard. And that's what I had for dinner. Delicious. And then I had a couple of sandwiches. I used a couple of English muffins. And I made a turkey, ham, salami, and Swiss sandwich, but I just realized I did not use any of the lettuce. I probably should have. Because what else are you going to use lettuce for, you know? Tonight, chicken tenderloins. However my wife wants to make them. I don't know how she's going to make them. So there you go. All right, everybody. It's great hanging out with you. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody watching afterwards as well. And I appreciate everybody subscribing and resubscribing. It means a lot. It means a lot of things. All right, everybody. I will talk to you Friday. See everybody on Friday.